So now you're adapting. Is that what you're
It's
telling me?
very easy for me.
But do you think it's going to be difficult for you to switch back to what we used to have before?
Yes.
Yes. So which one of you secretly loves this? Secretly? No? Sean doesn't like it? Diego doesn't like it? No, you don't like this? You would rather wake up at 5 o'clock, put on a uniform, and go to a classroom?
Yes, teacher.
Why? Why?
I don't know, but I have that feeling when they put the new model. I feel like 15 signatures in one day. I feel like
Subjects. 15 subjects.
subjects.
So you
I
think it's
feel
like
like
too much?
too much, but then you do all things a little.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, what's your experience been like, a student in 2020? Somebody's talking. Oh goodness, Sean is gone. Tomás Carvajal.
The only thing that has changed about me, and it was for a small period of time, it was that in the first trimester, I didn't send any assignments.
Why was that? Why, Tomás?
Because I was playing
Okay. So that
and
means
studying programming, etc.
so that means you were not taking the whole school from home thing seriously.
Maybe.
I think that happened to a lot of people. A lot of people were like, this is only going to be for a few weeks. Why bother? And then when they realized that it was actually extended to the whole year, people were like, oh, what? So yeah, I think it happened to a lot. What about you, Sean? We're asking, hello, Janice. We're asking students to give their perspective of what 2020 has been like as a student. Go ahead, Sean.
And the first trimester was like too stressful because we have to do like 17 subjects in 1 week. And that was a lot, but by the time I have been adapting to two models.
Okay. And you, Janice, what has it been like for you as a student this year?
Okay. At the beginning, it happened to me what you said when I just entered, that I was like treating this as an option because I thought it was gonna be just a few weeks. But then it got extended and I started to do the models. And yeah, it's sometimes I feel like demotivated to join the Zooms. I don't know why, because panic attacks and things. That's just me, and I try my best, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So which one of you would tell me that you are really doing your 100% effort this year with this system that we have? Or that you used to be more focused before? If you compare yourself to 2019 and 2020, do you think this year you've done your best? No? None of you. Tomas, you're the only person saying yes.
Yes, actually, I've put more effort into seventh grade than all the other grades for me, but I'm actually not doing my best. In seventh grade, I'm not making all the assignments as best as possible.
Mm-hmm. And do any of you understand why that is happening? What is happening to Daniel Guillen? Is he they're watching TV or playing video games, aren't you? Hello, Daniela. Happy Students' Day. Daniela, we're asking your perspective of what 2020 has been like for you as a student, because this has been an interesting year, not to say traumatic. So how would you describe yourself as a student in 2020? What has it felt like for you?
Well, I'm the type of person that doesn't really enjoy getting out. So for me, it's like normal because all the years is the same for me, getting in my bedroom, being with my family, and I'm good with this.
Okay, so do you think it has affected your performance as a student?
A little bit, because I am sometimes in the classes, in the other classes, I don't like really pay attention because it's difficult to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes the internet connection interferes in the class,
Hmm.
and it's like I don't understand, and now I even don't know if I'm going to understand with this.
Yeah, I know. It has been very difficult, and a lot of times we don't talk about it, but I think we should, not so we can feel sorry for each other, but so that we can understand that everybody's going through the same thing. It's not easy. I mean, you students, you're the first time in history that anybody has had to do this. The last pandemic was 100 years ago, and there was no internet. So there was no way to solve this. But to take you from completely going to school, being in a classroom with students, and then send you home and tell you, okay, sit in front of your computer or your phone, that's your new classroom. It wasn't that easy. And I think also teachers had to adapt a lot to, not me particularly, because I have always had Zoom conferences with clients. So I was already used to that. But I think the whole thing about like 10 kids, or in some classes 25 kids in the same Zoom thing, it's a little bit difficult. So I think everybody that this year a lot of people have discovered a lot of strengths that they didn't think they had, and that's really, really good. Okay, so in today's topic, as I mentioned at the beginning, oh, before I forget, people, your spelling assignment had a deadline. The deadline was 24th. What's wrong with you people? Some of you have not turned in that assignment. Wake up, send the assignment, okay? If you come up with a really good excuse, I only take off 1 point. If you give me no excuse, no, if you don't give me any excuse, you lose 1 point. If you come up with a really good excuse, you don't lose points. So make sure you do that assignment by today. Okay,
Teacher,
yes,
I said it before.
yes, I think so. I think so. I don't remember, probably. But the rest of you, you know who you are. Do the spelling assignment. Okay. So as I said at the beginning, we're going to be talking a little bit more about stereotypes. A few weeks ago, we talked about stereotypes, and we said that a stereotype is what? What's a stereotype?
Like a form to
It's like when we make judgments about people based on what?
stereotypes is like a form to judge a person for his aspect or clothes or hair or something. Like people like P-Rock are like satanic, something like that.
Yeah. So when we see people like dressed in black and we're like, oh, they're emo or they're satanic. Exactly. Those are stereotypes. And our society is filled with hundreds of stereotypes. And one of them, we're going to discuss one specific stereotype today, and it's how, without really thinking about it, automatically we think that black means evil and white means peace and purity. So, for instance, if somebody wants to get married wearing a white dress, everybody's like, yes, purity. But if that same person decides to get married wearing a black dress, everybody's like, oh, satanic. Okay? And it's just a color. And we see it a lot of times. If you paint your fingernails like red, oh, that's so sexy. If you paint your fingernails black, you're satanic, you're evil. So society has this way of just separating things into black and white. And that is really unfair. And of course, it has gone all the way into the realm of ethnicity and race. So people usually think that if you're black, there's something wrong with you. If you're white, you're intelligent and beautiful. But that's a whole different story. That's not what we're going to focus on today. Today, we're going to focus specifically on the color of things, black and white, particularly about the black sheep. Have you heard about the black sheep in the family? Like every family has a black sheep. What do they mean by that when they talk about the black sheep in the family? What are they talking about?
Like you're like the different person of all your family. You like something that your family doesn't like. Something
Hmm.
like
And when we say the person who's different in the family, is it like a good different or a bad different? I don't hear you. When they talk
It
about,
depends.
go ahead, Diego.
Depends on how the family think about it.
But if the family refers to somebody as the black sheep, as la oveja negra, are they usually talking about a good thing or is it usually a bad thing?
bad,
Usually a bad thing.
bad thing.
It's usually a bad thing, right? So there we go again. People using colors to say black is something evil, white is something good. And for instance, even in conversations, estaba negro, negro, negro y sucio. Ay, qué blanco y bonito. And you're not talking about people, you're just talking about things, okay? So is there any danger in having those ways of expressing ourselves? Do you think there's any danger in that? No danger? Daniel says no danger. Okay, people, where do these ideas come from?
From the past, I think.
From the past, okay, be a little more specific.
Like the thousands of hundreds of years ago, we can say that. They
Okay,
say that the black are evil or the white are good.
okay, when my daughter, I have two daughters, when one of them was in kindergarten or pre-kinder, I don't know, kindergarten, one day she came home and she was really, really, really sad because the teacher innocently said something that really hurt her. The teacher said, a Dios no le gusta nada negro. Todo lo negro es malo para Dios. A Dios solamente le gustan las cosas blancas y bonitas. And she didn't understand that little kids, when you say stuff like that, they take it literally. So of course she came home and she's like, God doesn't love me. And I'm like, what? Where'd you get that from? Because the teacher said that God doesn't like things that are black. He only likes things that are white. Okay, so where do you think these ideas came from? Daniel says they came from thousands of years ago. Specifically, where? I just gave you a clue.
Sure. When
From?
everything is dark,
Huh?
you will see the color black, right?
Uh-huh.
There's light and it's sunshine, you will see white. I think that's where it comes.
Okay, who
You,
else? Who else has another
you
idea?
don't imagine God sitting in the dark.
We never think about God sitting in the dark, but we really don't know if he's sitting or if he's a he or if he's, we don't know. But we just come up with these ideas like God is not sitting in the dark. Okay, we don't know if he's a he and we don't know if he's sitting. Okay, so a lot of these ideas come from religion, sadly. Now, I'm not saying religion is bad. Do not go outside and say the teacher says religion is bad. That's not what I said. I said a lot of these ideas come from religion because people have started there many years ago, thousands of years ago. People thought it was okay to speak like that. Now we realize that you cannot be saying these kinds of things without offending other people. Also, people get offended by everything these days, but a lot of these ideas started in religion. Okay, when we spoke about the king of darkness and they were speaking about Satan, and the king of light and they were speaking about Jesus. Add to that the fact that Jesus is also supposed to be some blue-eyed blonde white guy. Give me a pause, there's a truck and I'm outside. Let's wait for the truck to pass. And he's actually looking at me like, what is she doing outside? Okay, so the truck has passed. Okay, so I'll also add to that the idea that a lot of people think that Jesus is this white guy with blue eyes and blonde hair. That makes it even more difficult because we see, oh, Jesus, he's wonderful, he's good, he's white. And Satan, he's horrible, he's red or black. Okay, so coming back to the black sheep of the family, I'm gonna show you a picture and we're gonna look at it. I'm gonna give you 1 full minute to look at this picture. And then you're gonna tell me what you are understanding from this picture, okay? This picture is really interesting. It's this concept that we have of the black sheep of the family always being somebody who's bad. But it's not necessarily true, and I think Diego said that a few minutes ago. So let me share my screen with you, and let's look at this picture. You get 1 full minute, stare at that, and then after a minute, you're gonna tell me what you understood from this picture. What's really, really going on here. I'm gonna mute myself so you don't have to hear the truck's motor while we. Okay, so that's 1 minute according to me. So what are we looking at here? Let's go one by one. What are we looking at in this picture? Let's start with Janice. What do you understand from this?
That the black sheep is the stronger one, the supportive one.
Good. Sean?
Sure, I need a little bit more time.
Okay, Daniel? Sean, what is going on at your house? There's always something going on. Daniel?
Teacher, I think that the black sheep has to put up with everything that the others say because they have different taste or different interests. Different taste, so and that's nothing wrong.
Okay. But pay attention to the precipice. At the bottom of the picture, there's a precipice, meaning that something's gonna happen if something doesn't happen. Isabella, tell me. Isabella, stop watching Rosa Guadalupe.
Teacher, I need more time.
Oh my goodness. Tomás?
Do I have to tell what's happening in the picture, or do I have to tell what I understood from the art?
What you understand.
I think the black sheep is trying to save all the other members of its family, even though they don't like him. I mean, that even though his ideas appear wrong, they're actually the right ones.
Yeah, good thoughts. Okay, so who else do we have? Daniela, I can't see Daniela. Where's Daniela and where's Diego? Anyway, one of you, Daniela,
Here.
go ahead.
So I think that the black sheep always has to carry a burden due to the comments of the others. And in my opinion, because I've been that black sheep, that it's not always the fault of the black sheep in the family, because so it happens that in family they used to tell me that my cousin always defends the things that I did in the past, and wasn't true because she was the one who broke the toys, and then one that nobody wants because she was too, like, I'm not going to say bad, but it was terrible.
You're not gonna say bad, but you're gonna say terrible, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Who's missing? Diego? Is Diego still here? Is Diego here? I think Diego
I'm
has.
here.
Okay, go ahead. Give me your perspective.
Okay, I think all the white ships are trying to push the black ship to the cliff
Mm,
because because the black ship is different.
mm. Okay,
And
so yeah, you saw the opposite. What else?
nothing else.
Sean, back to you. Sean, just tell me what you see. You don't have to see what other people are seeing. What do you see in this picture? Okay, let me make it easier for you, Sean. What would happen if the black sheep were not there?
The white sheep will fall.
Good. That's good enough. Isabella?
So I think that sometimes being the black sheep of the family is not that bad because you are not following what the other persons are doing. So you make the difference in the time.
Okay, good stuff. Let me remove this. The thing is this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the thing. Calling somebody a black sheep is just a stereotype. And it doesn't mean that the person is bad or the person has defects. It just means that the person is not like everybody else. And sometimes, just like I think Isabella just said, sometimes not being like everybody else is actually a good thing. Because pay attention to what the majority of people are doing. They're not always right. They make mistakes. And sometimes being the black sheep sometimes means that you're thinking and you're analyzing and you're making your own decisions. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you mentioned that you're the black sheep in your family. I am the black sheep in my family. In fact, my mother has told me I'm the black sheep in the family. I don't care. That's not a problem because I like my life. I like the decisions that I make. I like the way that I'm living my life. And so if that means I'm the black sheep to them, I'm good. I'm happy. So not because somebody uses the word black, it means it's bad. For instance, for those of you who like to dress in black, people can tell you whatever they want to say. If it makes you happy to be dressed in black, it's good. For those of you who want to paint your fingernails black, let them say whatever they want. It's okay. It's good. So don't allow stereotypes to dictate how you should feel about yourself. If everybody else is doing something, it doesn't mean it's good and it's wonderful. It just means that probably they're not thinking. What I get from the picture, some of you already mentioned, and it's the fact that the person that they thought was the black sheep was the problem ended up being the person who saved them. I like Diego's perspective that they are pushing him towards the precipice, towards the cliff to fall off. But as you can see, the black sheep is standing tall and standing strong and not allowing them to manipulate him. That's also a good thing. What's the essence of what I'm trying to tell you today? The essence is this. Throughout life, you're always going to have choices. You can do what everybody else is doing and just become another face in the crowd, or you can decide to honor yourself. Every time you want to do your own thing, and when I say do your own thing, I'm not talking about drugs or cutting yourself or throwing yourself off a balcony, okay? But anytime you want to do your own thing and you end up doing what everybody else is doing because you don't want to be different, you are being disloyal to yourself. And if there's one person that you need to be loyal to, always, it's to you. Okay, let's give another pause because the truck is coming back up. Let me mute this for a second while the truck drives. Okay, so the essence is this. The things that everybody else is doing is not necessarily the right thing. Or it might be the right thing for them, but not the right thing for you. And you need to start figuring out how to make your own choices. Now, before we finish, give me an example of something that everybody else is doing, but it doesn't mean that it's a good idea. And so you can choose to not do it. Who wants to give me an example?
Listen reggaeton.
Good example. I don't like reggaeton. I'm not going to say it's evil, it's horrible. No, people like it, good for them. But you don't have to listen to it if you don't like it. Good idea. Who has another one?
Tattoos.
Tattoos. Who said that? Isabella, tell me
Sir,
about
repeat.
tattoos. Wait, Daniel.
I think that is not a good idea because you're gonna die with the tattoo, and if you have a demon tattoo, you cannot take it out, and it's very bad.
Okay. Or if you tattoo the name of your boyfriend like Carlos, and then you break up with Carlos and you have his name on your chest, yeah, or on your butt, which is even worse. Okay. Daniel, what were you asking me?
Teacher, you could repeat again what we
I'm
have.
asking to give me an idea of something that everybody or most people love to do that you don't want to do. Is it raining? It's raining. What is this? Where did the sun go? Okay, give me an idea.
Getting
Watch
married.
people.
Wait, who's talking?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Janice.
Getting married.
Oh, good one. Tell me about getting married.
I think it's just a couple of papers. You don't really need it to be with someone.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a dangerous idea for a kid your age, but I agree. I can understand that. And what I have a problem with is that when it's really raining. I have a problem with when they try to obligate people like, oh, you're 20, you got to get married. You're 21, it's time to get married. I have a huge problem with that. I don't think people under 28 should get married. None of you, please don't get married when you're 19 and, oh, I got to go inside. I don't want to go inside. Let's get wet. We're soon going to be over. Daniel,
I'm
what were
not
you
even
saying?
going to get married, teacher.
My what?
I'm not going to get married.
Yeah, Diego, you say that until you hit 30 and you meet the woman of your dreams and then you get married and then you invite me to your wedding and then I get up at your wedding and say, Diego said he wasn't getting married in 2020. Yeah. Daniela, Sean?
Teacher, another example can be go for party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because much people want to go to party to, I don't know, drink, be happy, but I want to stay home because my finish, well, mi meta is to have a good future and have my own work. And if I want to do that, I have to have knowledge about the things that I want to do. So I
Yeah.
prefer to stay home than go to drink and be like drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like parties. I'm an introvert. I like to stay home. What about the rest of you?
See
teacher.
TikToks.
Oh my God.
Daniela,
No, Sean first.
go ahead, Sean.
See TikToks.
Oh, yeah, TikTok. Or you watch TikTok videos or make TikTok videos. Yeah. Go ahead, Daniela.
Well, not having babies. No. Why? Because when they're married, they think that a demonstration of their love is having babies. That's not correct. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a baby
Exactly.
just because it's a demonstration.
I agree with you. Some people should not have kids. I agree. The thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, it stopped raining, it seems. The thing is this, you have to learn from very early to be loyal to yourself. This doesn't mean that you're going to be self-centered, like, oh, it's all about me. No, it means that deep inside of you, you're always going to have a feeling of whether something is right for you or not. And if you feel that it's not right for you, don't force yourself to be making decisions or to be doing things that are not good for you, because you need to learn how to be loyal to yourself. When you start betraying yourself from very early, it affects your self-esteem. Because if you cannot be there for you and protect yourself and make decisions that are correct for you, then nobody else can. And so don't see like, oh, we got to do what everybody else is doing. So sometimes being the black sheep is perfectly okay. And not always when you hear the word black attached to something, it means that it's bad. And if you can, it's raining again. If you can, change your vocabulary. If you notice that you have this stereotypical way of expressing yourself, like black bad, white good, stop it. Use synonyms, use other words, because the last thing we need in society is for the younger generation that is coming up to come up with the same ridiculous mistakes and ideas that the adults already made. Okay, so quick thing. Remember, those of you who haven't done your spelling, remember that my legs are getting wet and it's very cold. Remember to do your spelling because it had a deadline. 1. Number 2, start working on those projects. It's 1/3 of your grade. It's as if you did an exam, and the date to turn it in is November 17th. Don't upload it to the platform. Send it to the email. It must be english@gmail.com. Don't upload it to YouTube. I'm going to do that afterwards, okay? So get together, start talking, do it something short, 2-3 minutes. Don't make it longer than 2 or 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can always email me at itmustbeenglish@gmail.com. Do you have any questions? Yes, Diego?
I have a question.
Go
I
ahead.
don't have my phone actually. It's broken, damaged. So how I communicate with the others?
You don't have your phone? Oh my goodness. You're with Isabella and Janice. Okay, so figure that out. You're smart kids. Please figure out how to communicate with Diego Lopez. You can do a Zoom call. Or you can, yeah, you can all get together and do a Zoom call, you know, and talk. Or I don't know what else to tell you. So Janice and Isabella, Diego doesn't have a phone. Figure out how to get in touch with him. Or you could, you know what you could do? You could come early to class next Tuesday, and talk. Or you could stay after class and talk. Or I could just end the meeting for myself and then you can stay back and talk. I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk today or do you want to talk at another date? Isabel?
Next Tuesday.
Next class?
Yes.
Okay, that okay, Diego and Isabella? Okay. Okay, kids, so that's it for today. Remember your assignment. See you next time. Bye-bye.